Let's look at exercise number 1. Following tables show how many words each person can text in a given amount of time. Compare the rates of texting for each person using the ratio table. Well, we have ratio tables. We know that each of those ratios inside those tables there are equivalent to one another. We can use those ratios to find out who texts the fastest and who texts the slowest. One thing that we can do is we can simplify the ratios. See what all of the ratios in that table are equivalent to. So if I take the ratio 3 to 150, I know I've got minutes to words. What can I divide out of both of those numbers? I can divide a 3 out of those. Three divided by 3 is 1, and 150 divided by 3 is 50. So this one here has a ratio of 1 to 50. Every one of those ratios in that table is equal to 1 to 50. If we think about what that means before we go on, Michaela, for every 1 minute that she texts, she can do 50 words. Now let's look at Jenna. I'm going to pick one of those. I'm going to pick the 2 to 90. 2 minutes, she can text 90 words. What can we divide out of both of those to simplify it? We can divide a 2 out of that. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 90 divided by 2 is 45. So every one of those ratios in that particular table is equivalent to 1 to 45. For every 1 minute that Jenna texts, she texts 45 words. Now I'm going to look at Maria. I'm going to pick any one of those. This time I'm going to pick the 6 to 240, just to be a little different. I can divide a 6 out of 6, and I can also divide a 6 out of 240. That would leave me with 1 minute, and that would leave me with 40 words. So every ratio there is equal to 1 to 40. That means for every 1 minute she can text 40 words. Well, if we compare those, now we're all the same. We can compare them because we're all basing it upon the same amount of time. If you have the first term the same, you can compare the second term, the 50, the 45, and the 40. The fastest person will be the person who texts the most words in the same amount of time. And that would be Michaela. Michaela can text 50 words in 1 minute. Jenna would be second. And the slowest texter would be Maria. She can text only 40 words in 1 minute. Now, you have one more part to here, and that's on the top of the next page. It says complete the table so that it shows Max has a texting rate of 55 words per minute. 55 words per minute means we're comparing 55 words for every 1 minute. So I would start off with my original ratio of 1 to 55. What if Max went 2 minutes? 1 times 2 is 2. 55 times 2 is 110. What if Max went 3 minutes? 1 times 3 is 3. 55 times 3 is 165. And what if Max texted for 4 minutes? 1 times 4 is 4. 55 times 4 is 220. So if Max keeps that same rate, we can see how many words that he texts for each minute.